Sure. It is page 50, and this is where we left off by these symptoms.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the book. By the symptoms alone, one can be understood to be elevated to the topmost position of devotional service. And it is with such transcendental loving service alone that one can surpass the influence of Maya and can reach pure love of God. Godhead. So long as one has desire for material benefit or for liberation, which are called two witches of allurement, one cannot relish a taste of transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord. There are three stages of devotional service. The first stage is called the beginner's cultivation stage. The second is called devotion service. The second is called realization of the service, Hare Krishna. And the third, the supreme stage, is called attainment of love of Godhead. There are nine different methods of cultivating devotional service, such as hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. All these processes are employed in the neophyte stage of cultivation. If one is engaged in the matter of chanting and hearing with devotion and faith, then gradually his material misgivings become vanquished. Gradually, his faith in devotional service increases more and more, and such stages assure him a higher perfection position. Thus, one becomes firmly fixed, increases the taste for it, becomes attached to it, and feels an ecstasy, which is called a preliminary stage of love of Godhead. Attainment of ecstasy is produced by execution of the cultivation of devotional service. Such attainment, when still more developed by the same process of hearing and chanting, gradually becomes thickened and it assumes the name of the love of Godhead. In the stage of transcendental love of God, there are further developments which are known as transcendental affection, emotion, ecstasy, and extreme intense attachment. These are technically known as raga, anuraga, bhava, and mahabhava. These are technical terms. The process is exemplified by the gradual thickness of sugar candy juice. Sugar candy juice in the final stage is liquid, and when by evaporation it becomes thicker and thicker. It becomes liquid, it becomes molasses, then granules, then sugar, then raw candy, and so on. There are different stages of the liquid sugar juice. And similarly, there are different stages of development of transcendental love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one is situated on transcendental platform, the stage is called steady. Unless one is situated on the transcendental platform, the practice or love of Godhead may not be steady. One may fall down, but when one is situated on the transcendental platform, he becomes steady and there is no fear of falling down. The stage of understanding is technically called Sthayi Bhava. There are still further developments stepping forward from the position of Sthayi Bhava, and those are called Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvic, and Vyavachari. When these are four ingredients are added to the steady, steadfast position of pure transcendental life, that is called exchange of rasa or transcendental flavor. This exchange of loving reciprocation between the lover and the beloved is generally called Krishna Bhakti Rasa. That transcendental taste of exchanging loving sentiments between the devotee and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we must note that this development of the transcendental loving exchange of flavors stands on the steadfast position of Sai Baba, as explained before. The basic principle of Vibhava is Sai Baba, and the other activities are auxiliary assistance for the developments of transcendental love. The ecstasy of transcendental love has two components, the context and the cause of the excitement. The context is also divided into two parts, the subject and the object. The exchange of devotional service is the subject and Krishna is the object. The transcendental qualities of the Krishna are the causes of excitement. That means that the devotee becomes excited to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, being enormed by the transcendental qualities of the Krishna. The Mayavadi philosophers say that the absolute truth is without specific qualities. The Vaishnava philosophers say that With say that, say that being without qualities, nirguna, means that the absolute truth has no material qualities, but that the spiritual qualities are so great and so enchanting that even liberated persons become attracted by Supreme Lord. This fact is very nicely explained in the Atmarama verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are already situated in the self-realization are also attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. That means Krishna's qualities are not material; they are pure and simply transcendental qualities. The highest stage of ecstasy can be divided into 13 transcendental activities, which are follows: dancing, rolling on the floor, singing, clapping, raising of the body, thundering, yawning, breathing, forgetting social conventions, throwing down saliva, laughing, headache, coughing. All these 13 symptoms do not awake simultaneously or at one time, but they act according to the exchange of transcendental flavor. Sometimes one symptom is prominent, and at other times the other symptom is prominent. Transcendental flavor is also divided into five. Principally, persons who are liberated from the material contamination but not exactly engaged in transcendental loving service, called the initial stage Santarati, appreciation of greatness of Supreme Persons of Godhead. They are on the appreciative neutral stage. The second stage is when a person appreciates that he is everlastingly subordinate to the Supreme Person of Godhead and he is everlastingly dependent on the causeless mercy of Supreme Person. At that time, there is an awakening of natural affection as a grown up son becomes attracted with the father's benediction. At that stage, is a living entity wants to serve the Supreme Person of Godhead instead of being engaged in the service of Maya illusion. This stage is called Dasarati. The next developed stage of transcendental love is called Sakirati. Here one associates with Supreme on an equal level with love and respect. The stage is further developed in the matter of joking and in exchange of different relaxations, by laughing and so forth. This is called fraternity with person of Godhead without any bondage. Practically, at the stage one forgets the inferior position of a living entity, although he has the greatest respect for Supreme Person. When the transcendental flavor or taste of fraternity is further developed, it is called Vatsalyarati, filial affection. At that time, the living entity tries to be the parent of God. Instead of the Lord being worshipped, the living entity as a parent of Supreme Person becomes the object of worship for the Supreme Person. And the Lord depends on the mercy of such pure devotees. This is called Vatsalyarati. Lord puts himself under the control of the devotee for being brought up nicely. Such devotee attains the position of embracing the Supreme Person of Godhead or kissing his head. These are developments of parental filial affection for the Supreme Lord. The next developed stage is called Madhurya or the transcendental exchange of taste between the lover and the beloved in conjugal love. At this stage of loving affair, the damsels of Raja and Krishna glance over one another in conjugal love. In the stage of transcendental loving service, there is an exchange of glancing in the moment of the echo eyebrows and an exchange of nice pleasing words and attractive smiling between one another. Beside the five primary reciprocations of flavor, there are seven secondary reciprocations consisting of laughing, wonderful vision, chivalry, pitiableness, anger, ghastliness, and devastation. Vishnu, for example, exchange with Krishna in a transcendental flavor of chivalry. Hiranyakasipu experienced an exchange of ghastly and devastating feature of Supreme Lord. The five prime rasas or flavors constantly remain within the heart of a pure devotee. The other seven, which are secondary, sometimes appear and disappear and enrich existing flavors and taste. After enriching the primary flavors, they disappear. The example of Shanta Bhaktas or Shanta devotees are the nine yogis called named Kavi, Hari, Antariksha, Prabuddha, Pipalayana, Havir Hotra, Dravid or Drumil, Chamas, and Harbhajan. The four Kumaras' great sages are Sanaka, Sanadam, Sant Kumar, and Sanatana. Examples of devotees in transcendental mode of servitorship are in the Goloka, Raktak, Chitrik, Patrak. These are all servants of Krishna. In Dwaraka, there are Daruka, and in the Vaikuntha planets there is Hanuman and other persons. Devotees in friendship are like Sri Rama in Vrindavana and Bhima and Arjuna in Dwaraka or on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So far, as those in paternal love with Krishna are concerned, the devotees are his mother, father, uncle, and similar relatives. In conjugal love, the devotees first are damsels of Raja, Vrindavan, and the queens and goodness of fortune in Dwaraka. No one can count how many there are. Hare Krishna, I'll stop reading here, Prabhu. Let me continue the chanting. Srila Prabhupada Prati. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamniti Namine. I offer my respectful obeisance to Santosh Divine